Rapid City comes in. We handle the maintenance that keeps your vehicle ready for whatever the city throws at it. Al's D&I, fixing it right since 77. Check in at Al's D&I on Sturgis Road and online at alsdniautorepair.com.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work, and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
And 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, VP, money get 250 here, no 75, 275 now, 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at mcphersonauction.com.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
World Series between the Blue Jays and Dodgers. L.A. back at home tonight as they're up 2-1 in the series, and they'll put Shohei Ohtani on the mound. Shane Bieber pitches for the Jays. Coverage on Fox starts at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. News from the NFL as the Saints today named Tyler Shook as their starting quarterback, as the rookie will get the nod in Week 9 against the Rams. He replaces Spencer Rattler, who's now the backup in New Orleans. The Bills have placed defensive tackle Ed Oliver on injured reserve with a torn biceps muscle. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco week to week. He sprained the MCL in his knee last night against the Commanders. Kansas City's in Buffalo this Sunday, and then they'll have a bye in Week 10. Speaking of the Commanders, head coach Dan Quinn said quarterback Jaden Daniels should be in the practice plan this week, trying to return from an injured hamstring. Patriots and corner Marcus Jones agreed on a 3-year extension. Bucks forward Kyle Kuzma available tonight against the Knicks. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, let's get it going. Good Tuesday afternoon to you. How are you today, okay? Solid? You ever having just a great day? I hope you're having a great day. It is always a great day in South Dakota. Say it with me. You can book that. The Nate Brown Show back on Fox Sports Radio. Let's get going. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Thought-provoking sports talk from high school to college to the pros. Let's cover it all tonight from South Dakota and beyond. Here we are live across the state. The Nate Brown Show streaming also on X at Nate Brown Show. Watch us live. Welcome in. If you're following us, great. If you haven't, if you're on X, you've got the app. Follow us at Nate Brown Show. And then you can watch the show live on your phone. Midwest Sports Plus, new high school sports app streaming all these games. If you haven't checked that out, I encourage you to do it. Not only the high school coverage from football to basketball season coming up, but they're doing some volleyball. I saw some volleyball action. Also, this show is live right now. Everybody on your Midwest Sports Plus app, tell me. And thanks for watching the show live on Midwest Sports Plus. Download that app. You've got us. One more place, our own YouTube channel. Boy, we're getting some subscribers. I like that. Makes me feel cool with the kids. But if you're on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show, search for us, subscribe. You've got this show live and archived. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. We got you covered there. Tuesday's show looks like this. 4 great guests across the board. Thought-provoking sports talk, a little question of the day action, some high school topics. We got a lot to get to tonight. Let's look at the guest lineup. Clinton Yates is going to join us, national host, ESPN's Clinton Yates, former Around the Horn panelist. Clinton Yates, longtime friend of mine, great broadcaster. He is on tonight. He was at the game last night in L.A., World Series, 18-inning marathon. Clinton Yates, I reached out to him and said, Clinton, were you at this thing? He was. He's going to come on tonight. He might be going again today. Clinton Yates coming up from L.A., national host, ESPN's Clinton Yates. Matthew Coller's on tonight from the Twin Cities. Vikings insider, his site, Purple Insider. Are the Vikings in big trouble? That's a question I'm pondering. Are they in big trouble? I say no, not yet. Matthew Coller's on tonight from Minneapolis. Brian Noe's going to join us from Las Vegas, national host of Countdown to Kickoff every weekend on Fox Sports Radio. We'll talk some ball with Brian Noe, as we always do. And Trent Singer's in tonight from Sioux Falls Live, talking high school football playoffs, maybe a little Augie hockey. Trent Singer's the Augie hockey guy. He's coming up from Sioux Falls Live. All right. If you want on tonight, we'll try and get you in. Be a part of the show that way. 605-720-1067. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline for you. 605-720-1067. Mark it down. Then hit the Pizza Ranch tonight. Home of everyone's favorite buffet at East 10th Street in Sioux Falls. Also a location in Brandon. 2 locations in Rapid City. The Pizza Ranch Buffet, locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch, the best. Also, the Barron's Wilson text line open. If you want to text the show, that's the way you can be a part of it there. 605-720-1067. That is the same number. We call it the Barron's Wilson text line, and your texts come into the app. We'll try and read those on the show. All right, I just have a question about last night for you. Let's start with the biggest story in sports. It's the marathon game from last night. And I haven't heard too many people today on Fox Sports Radio or the national media talk about what the game is, how that game was for the World Series and for the game of baseball and for sports fans. I've heard people joking around. I stayed up till 3 a.m. and almost all of that stuff. But I actually want to dig into this and say baseball changed some rules. And is it appropriate what they've done and then what they've rescinded? Or would this have actually helped the game last night? Or maybe you guys are totally on opposite sides. So 18 innings, 6 hours and 39 minutes. It's not the longest game in history or anything, but it's an all-timer. It's up there. 6 hours, 39 minutes. Dodgers, Blue Jays last night. Clinton Yates, by the way, was there. We'll get his read on this. He went to a few different 18-inning games. Clinton Yates is a big baseball guy. I'm going to ask him. But 19 pitchers. 19 pitchers. You have another game tonight. And so, really, you're on this biggest stage, the biggest stage of baseball, and we're going to get a crapshoot tonight of which team actually survived this marathon last night. That's what I feel like it is today. This is the Super Bowl being played in New York when it's windy and cold and rainy, and we try and throw it out, the elements, and see who can be the best in this weather and the conditions. I want to know who just is the best team, not who survived a 7-hour game last night. You can say, don't be the old guy yelling at the clouds today. Don't do that. It's not that. Baseball has figured out how to shorten up the games, the pitch clock, and then in the regular season, the runner starting on second base in extra innings, because baseball has told us we don't want to get into these marathon games. They've told us that we don't want to get into these marathon games because it really doesn't do anything for the teams or for the product like tonight. They said, we want to get these games over with, and everybody's going to get a shot here. They'll get a runner on second. It's not like it's uneven like the NFL used to be in overtime. If you score a touchdown, you never saw the ball. So all these leagues have tried figuring out what's the best way to do extra innings, the best way to do overtimes. How do we do this? NFL, I think, has it pretty good now. College football, I think, has always had it pretty good. Start from the 25, score, and then if it gets into some double overtimes, you go for 2, and then it's just one play after another, and you eventually get it over with. This baseball game could have lasted. I mean, it's just crazy. So what I'm trying to get at, 7-hour game, 18 innings. Fans are going to say it was epic. I mean, if you stayed up last night, and I saw a sports guy in South Dakota, Vic, are you listening? I saw a sports guy in South Dakota. He said, I'm up. This is going to the 18th inning. Well, guess what? I wasn't up. I didn't hang with this. I mean, I have to do stuff. I don't know, like make lunches for my kids and stuff. I know, just crazy, dumb stuff like that. I can't stay up till 3 a.m. watching this thing, so then I miss it. So let me just say, 18 innings, 7-hour game, 19 pitchers, and now we got another game tonight. Is that good for you? You love that for the World Series. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Welcome to windy South Dakota, Nate.
I welcome you. How are you?
Is it probably messing with your hair today, huh?
I'm good.
You know, you look at all the major sports, they have abbreviated rules for the regular season. You look at ice hockey. It goes to overtime, they go to a 3-on-3. If that doesn't work, they go to a shootout so that the game can wrap up. But in the playoffs, they play 5-on-5, overtime period 1, overtime period 2, overtime period 3, so forth and so on. You look at Wimbledon in tennis. They play tiebreakers in the sets 1 through 4, but if it goes 5 sets, you got to win by 2 games, and it could be, that last set could be 24-22, and take forever. I mean, I think you get a true champion, you get a true winner that way. I don't think it hurts baseball. I don't want to see a guy on second. I mean, the Dodgers have a guy on second, running him over to second or over to third, and
so let me get get him home. So how you feeling today? You stayed up till 2:30 last night, I expect.
I stayed up until like 15 innings.
Okay.
And then that had to be the end. Yeah, I missed Freddie Freeman's home run, but you know what? I saw it this morning on SportsCenter, and it was the same home run I would have saw at 2 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, I know. It would have been the same one you would have saw in the 10th inning with the guy on second, too. But anyway,
yeah.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you. I get it. Thanks for getting in.
Thanks, man.
Good to talk to you. He says it's okay. I mean, I guess it's okay. I just say, isn't the runner on second same rules for both teams? Try and get this across. Sometimes that gets really exciting, by the way. There's a lot of runs scored, and then a team bounces back, and they tie it again, and then we do it again. So sometimes there's a lot of runs scored. But the baseball traditionalists will say that's fake stuff. I mean, just to put a ghost runner out there, how did he get to second? That's fake stuff. I'm more prone to say I would go that route than an 18-inning marathon. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but it's the biggest stage. And this is baseball now. And maybe people talk about it today so people think, well, this is good for the game. This is the Super Bowl that doesn't get over, and then we all have to go to bed because we're trying to get up the next day. This is the Super Bowl that we don't watch the ending of. This is the Patriots coming back and tying the Atlanta Falcons, and then we go until 2 a.m., and then we don't watch it. You can't have that. I don't think you can have that. Let's see here. What do you think of the marathon game last night? Oh, nearly 7 hours, 19 pitchers. Great for baseball, or just put the runner on second base like in the regular season? That's my question of the day. Your read on it, 605-720-1067. Question of the day as we start the Nate Brown Show tonight. Baseball fans, hit me up there, 605-720-1067. I got a baseball fan here that texted me earlier today. Here it is. Let me find this. I got to find this. This is a baseball fan. This isn't just a casual. This is a baseball fan. I don't see the downside with starting someone on second base. I do not see any benefit of playing an 18-inning game when you have to play the very next day. To me, the only cool thing about the type of game last night was for the people that actually stayed up and watched it, and you could say you stayed up and watched it. Yeah, that's from a baseball fan. That's a baseball guy, and I know this guy, okay? So that was interesting. I just asked him, I said, hey, question of the day. You give me your read here. You tell me, 605-720-1067. Great for baseball last night, or you can shorten it up, start a runner on second base like the regular season. Let's see. Lister text. He said he stayed up. I watched. I loved it. Changed nothing. Did you have breakfast this morning at like noon? Thanks for calling. You're live and you go ahead. Hello.
Me?
Yes, sir. You go ahead.
Oh, hi. Hi, this is John. I stayed up.
Okay.
I was kind of rooting for Toronto. The thing is, I hate the ghost runners.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was a COVID thing. So I kind of wish they'd get rid of them during the regular season. I mean, I get it. Maybe my real frustration with it is that the Twins can never seem to win extra inning games. You can get this guy on second to score because the manager doesn't know how to manage extra inning games.
So you haven't had a good experience with the runner on second as a Twins fan, right?
Right.
Oh, I got you. And you're a baseball traditionalist. I can tell that, right? You don't want much change. Do you like the pitch clock? Do you like some of that?
Pitch clock's okay. I mean, some of those guys, Toby Harrah, Chuck Knobloch, I mean, they would step out and redo their gloves or whatever between every pitch, and some of the pitchers would take forever, in between pitches, so the games really got long. So, I mean,
but you were okay.
Problem with it, but sometimes they get called on pitch clock and they didn't even realize that, it had run out, I guess.
No, I got you. I appreciate you, John. Thanks for getting in. You had no problem with the game last night. Thanks for calling. I don't have a problem, I guess. I don't have a problem. I just don't have a problem with the runner on second to provide some fireworks right away. Like you got, here's what I like about the college football overtime. You know what I like about that? It is intense. It is intense. I mean, every play, you got to get a defensive stop. You got to hold these guys from the 25-yard line. I mean, it is intense. It's not timed or anything like that. I even like the college football overtime, which I think most of you guys probably do. Isn't that the best overtime in sports? 25-yard line. Make some plays. Do you get a touchdown? Do you get a field goal? Then the other team gets it. 25-yard line. It is good stuff. And then if it goes to double OT, now we got to go just for a 2-point conversion. And every play is intense. So you put that runner on second. Now the pitcher's in a really tight situation. Really tight situation. Not just, I get the first guy out. Now the odds go up. I'm going to get out of the inning. Now I get the second guy. And here we go till 2:30 in the morning. So I get it. It goes against baseball. You got to earn your way on the base. You got to do this and this. They have it in the regular season. I think it's intense. I think it provides fireworks. It provides excitement. Pitchers in crunch time. Batters got to move the runner along. Let's see what we can do. And it gives each team the same chance. And now tonight, we're just going to find out. And it leads into tonight now. Well, who survived last night? So last night's game has an impact on today's game. And I just don't like that element of it. I don't see the upside of let's go to 18 innings to just keep on going. When you got the runner on second, fans love it, excitement, let's see what happens. You could have been out of there. And then you have a normal game tonight. Now you just decide, hey, 19 pitchers used. Who's left? Well, somebody's going to get a big advantage tonight. So I go runner on second. Lister text, the guy who stayed up for the game said, I had pulled pork and pancakes for breakfast. That is my kind of guy, though. That is my kind of guy. 74% of you say it's great for baseball last night. 26% of you say, let's just start a runner on second base like the regular season. Again, I'm in the 26%. Lonely place to be. Start the runner on second, it's okay. How about the guy who was there last night? And he put in a full day's work today, and he's coming on the Nate Brown Show. He's with ESPN Los Angeles. Clinton Yates was at the game last night. We'll talk about it with him coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Does your home have a crawl space? When cold weather arrives, that can mean cold floors, frozen pipes, and higher energy bills. Protect your family and keep the cold air out this winter with expert crawl space sealing by Blackburn Basement Systems. Sealing keeps your crawl space clean, protects pipes, and insulates your home so floors are warmer and energy bills are lower. A sealed crawl space means a nicer home. Don't wait. Call Blackburn Basement Systems today.
Stock up with big fall savings at Menards. Winterize with RV and Marine antifreeze and automotive antifreeze on sale now. Save big on an 8-pack of 100-watt or 12-pack of 60-watt LED light bulbs. Protect your home and family with great sale prices on select security lights and smoke alarms. Plus, stay warm with a fantastic selection of space heaters on sale. Check out Menards' weekly flyer for all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
At Danny Mano Rushmore Honda, our buyback event was a huge success, and now we've got a lot full of fresh trades. Over 175 used SUVs available from Jeep, Honda, Ford, Nissan, Subaru, GMC, and more. Plus, the area's best selection of used Hondas and Honda-certified pre-owned sport utilities. Get 0.99% APR on select certified pre-owned. Buy before the snow flies. See us at Danny Mano Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. Like the finance contract is limited with qualified credit. Expires 11/3/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Highs level off around 49 this afternoon under clear skies, northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight, 27, highs around 55 tomorrow. Lots of sunshine and dry Friday, mid-50s Thursday, upper 40s by Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 45 degrees.
What makes a credit union different from a bank? At Highmark Credit Union, it starts with you. We're member-owned, not shareholder-driven. That means our earnings go back to you through better rates, lower fees, and personal service. Unlike big banks, we put people first. You're not just an account number, you're part of a community. Highmark Credit Union. Local, personal, and here for you. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger?
Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
All right, welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on a Tuesday, the Nate Brown Show. Welcome in. If you're streaming us, that's great. You can find us on X at Nate Brown Show. Watch us live. Welcome in studio on X at Nate Brown Show. His show is Clinton and Friends. ESPN's Clinton Yates. He was at this marathon last night. He's one of the best baseball guys I know. Is that right? I think that's right. Baseball passion. And he was at the 18-inning marathon World Series last night. He's on X at Clinton Yates. You can follow him there. Great host. Clinton, welcome in. How are you?
I'm well, man. I wasn't just at the 18-inning marathon last night. I was at the one here in 2018. I was at the 18-inning game in Seattle against the Astros in 2022. And I was also at the 18-inning game in the District of Columbia, where I'm from, in 2016. I've been to 4 of the 5 total, Nate. That's how I'm living, okay? Understand that.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So I said you're one of the best baseball guys I know, so that proves it. So you got to tell me this. You have to tell me that the 18-inning game is the right way to go, not the runner on second like we shorten games in the season. You tell me that.
Well, I think what most people looked at out of yesterday was, by the way, Eddie Perez just walked by. You can catch him on ESPN Radio broadcasting the game. Great guy. The thing about yesterday that I think most people thought about regarding rule changes was regarding intentional walks. Like, maybe you put a limit on that so that you can finally get people getting in the batter's box. The ghost runner, whatever you want to call it, I think that's a different thing. I think most people understand that doesn't need to happen in the playoffs. But the intentional walks create a really awkward situation when somebody like Shohei gets a free pass 3 times, effectively 4, when you add in the unintentional intentional, and it kind of cuts through the competition when you're that late in the game. I don't need that personally because, as I said, I'm a veteran of these games. I don't actually mind playing all night per se, but I could understand if you made a situation where you said, listen, you're not intentionally walking anybody more than twice, not the game, or you just can't do it in extras. I wouldn't hate that at all.
Okay, why do you say Ghost Runner in the regular season's fine, the postseason no?
Because you got to keep things moving. It's as simple as that. It's kind of like in football when games can end in ties in overtime. You can't have that in the NFL in the playoffs because somebody's got to win. I think opening up the competition to a more natural level in playoff baseball just makes more sense than it does in the regular season when you've legitimately got things to keep moving that involve a lot more people than just, the 2 teams playing right there.
Okay, how does this impact tonight now? You're talking 19 pitchers, Clinton. So, to me, this impacts tonight, and it's like survival of the fittest. I don't know if I love that, but maybe it's, hey, that's baseball.
I don't love it either, to be quite honest, but I think the person it impacts the most is the guy who starts on the bump for the Dodgers. I mean, listen, this guy got on base 9 times last night. Now he's going to get up and potentially throw 9 innings. I mean, that's insane on a lot of levels. So it's hotter today, by the way, than it was yesterday by a good, smooth 15 degrees, if we're being honest. So the ball's probably going to get out a little more, and it's going to affect conditioning on a different level than it did last night. It's a little cool on a basic level. In California, it's hot today. So I do think that things are going to be different. I think this will be a slower, more tame game. I think you're going to see the ball leave the yard a little more.
Okay, you mentioned Shohei. He's going tonight. You tell me what you do if you're the Blue Jays. Do you pitch to him like ever?
Not once. I'm giving him the Barry Lamar Bonds treatment, and I'm not even joking about that. Schneider was goofing around last night, and he said, yeah, we tried to intentionally walk him, got crossed up, and he took the first pitch out, and next thing you know, the game was changed. I'm not even playing around with that. You're down in the series. You don't necessarily have all the arms you want because you blew everything out yesterday. I would not take the chance, in my opinion, if I'm managing that team. Why? Why bother? Put the guy on. Who cares? You're putting yourself a better chance. Listen, he can run the bases as well as anybody, but last night he actually got thrown out at second base because, he just had a bad slide and was off balance. But, I'm not doing it. I'm not risking it because I don't want to end up getting put on a poster yet again in the World Series.
Clinton Yates joining us from L.A. He's covering the World Series. He's on Clinton and Friends, ESPN Radio. He's here on the Nate Brown Show tonight. So, are the Dodgers better than the Blue Jays? How good is this series do you see? Key one tonight.
I think they're 2 different teams. The Blue Jays hit the ball hard, but they're not a slug team, if that makes sense. They led the AL, and I want to say runs scored, OBP, batting average, all of that kind of stuff. They had a lot of things, but they're not hitting the ball out of the yard a ton. They're singling and doubling you to death. They run the bases as well as any team in the big league. However, the Dodgers are the team that can explode at any given moment. It doesn't necessarily require the same momentum in order for them to blow up in a big spot. And they play different types of baseball, and you know how they say in boxing, styles make fights. That's why I think this is an interesting series. So for the Dodgers, it's going to be a matter of making sure that there are guys who have been in slumps, not slumps, but Freddie Freeman was in a little bit of a slump. Let's not lie. before yesterday, of course, he ends up hitting the bomb to hit the game. And, of course, he's Federico Freeman, World Series game ender. So you don't really think about the larger context. But if the Dodgers can get started early, I think the Blue Jays are in a position to fold, to be quite honest.
What were people saying about that game and how it went last night? 18 innings, Freddie Freeman, dramatic win. What were people buzzing about?
Well, Freeman already had God status, obviously, when he hit a daggone grand slam last year in Game 1 of the World Series to win it, which set the tone, frankly, against the Yankees, and they ended up demolishing them in 5 games. But I think there was a little bit of an expectation for Federico to get out and do something. And, listen, Freddie's a guy who really has reformed his career, if that makes sense. People looked at him as a Brave through and through for most of his career. He's had more big moments, arguably, as a Dodger than he did in Atlanta so far. He hasn't even been here half the time. So people were excited, but it's also one of those things where after 18 innings, Nate, nobody really has a ton to say because people are dragging.
I know that. By the way, if the Dodgers pull this off, let's say they win it again, is there a discussion in Major League Baseball about the Dodgers, the payroll, the contract for Shohei, that whole scene? Are owners getting mad?
Maybe, but I think that's kind of a BS argument right now. I'm standing outside the clubhouse at this moment. I'm looking at pictures of Walter O'Malley and Branch Rickey and all these people that have been fundamental in terms of what the structure and front office of the Dodgers has been going back decades. Innovative team, knows how to pick up players and get the best out of them. They keep who they can as best they can from their draft standpoint. You look at a guy like a Kershaw who came in a critical spot last night. And listen, if you're doing too well because you scout, you pay, you recruit, and you retain better than everybody else, the problem is everybody else. It's a skill issue. It's not just one of money, in my personal opinion. They happen to have a ton of it, but they invest it the right way for the right reasons, and that's why they get the right results.
Last one. How long does Shohei go tonight? How does this look?
That's an excellent question. I think I'm going to sit down and ask that question in the presser here a little bit, but last game that he pitched, Doc said before the game, because I asked him, they said, how many pitches do you think he's going to go? He said, I could see him throwing 100, which was crazy at the time because he hadn't thrown in 2 weeks. He had only thrown twice in a month. Well, he threw exactly 100 pitches, and guess how that works out? They got a pretty good handle on their guy.
Clinton Yates on tonight, ESPN's Clinton and Friends. I appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
No problem, Nate. Have fun.
Thanks a lot, man. Clinton Yates on tonight from Dodger Stadium, L.A. He's on ESPN. Clinton and Friends here on the Nate Brown Show. Lucky to get him. I mean, he's right there. He's right there for after the 18-inning marathon last night. Now he's getting set for the one tonight. Clinton Yates, great baseball guy, national host on ESPN. His show is Clinton and Friends. He's okay with the 18-inning marathon. He's been to 4 of them. And he's still with us. Oh. I have not been to an 18-inning game. I have not been to an 18-inning game. World Series, you got to be thinking about this going, well, this is the big stage. This is the one. You got to stay up and watch this. I only have a couple of guys that have told me they stayed up and watched it. So it was getting real late Central Time, darn late Mountain Time last night. You tell me if you watched it. I had a couple of guys, one who had pulled pork and pancakes for breakfast at like noon today. So you tell me if you watched. I did not, and that's my issue with it. I know I can catch the highlights. I got it all this morning. I understand. Freddie Freeman in the 18 innings and 2 home runs for Shohei Ohtani and 2 doubles, and he got walked 4 more times. It's like, I got all that, but this is the biggest stage for the game, and it was missed. It had to be missed by a ton of people. Clinton Yates is not going to go runner on second. He said, you just got to keep the regular season moving. You got, it's on to the next game. There's 3-game series. You just got to keep it going. I think you could do the same in the World Series, and that's probably going against the baseball traditionalists. You tell me, what do you think of last night's 18-inning World Series game? Lasted 7 hours, 19 pitchers, and now we get another one tonight. Is it great for baseball or no? You should start a runner on second base in the extras. You tell me, great for baseball, the marathon last night, or no, you should start a runner on second base. I got a few more people chiming in. 605-720-1067 is how you hit us on the Barron's-Wilson text line. Just got a baseball coach. He texted it. He said, I watched it. He watched it all the way last night. I mean, a guy like Matt Kearney, he's a night owl. My producer of the Nate Brown Show, Matt Kearney's a night owl. I don't think he watched it. I think even Matt called it quits early. I'm at a stage in my life where I don't know sometimes if I'll even be able to make it the next day if I have to stay up that late. Well, you know how that goes. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, you tell me if you watched it and if it's great for baseball. I just start the runner on second, and then I'm good to go. You got a lot of excitement. You got a lot of energy and a lot of passion and intensity with the runner on second right away. I don't see the big deal with it, rather than the marathon like last night, 18 innings where the Dodgers finally win. Matthew Coller is joining us live from the Twin Cities. Are the Vikings in big trouble? That's my first question for him. And then this Carson Wentz mess. The bad injury here, and he's out now for the season with the shoulder, the torn labrum. It sounds rough. Where are the Vikings standing on that? Matthew Coller, PurpleInsider.com coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
That personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Great report moments ago from Dodger Stadium. Clinton Yates from Clinton and Friends, ESPN national host, great baseball guy, joined us live. Longtime friend of mine. Appreciate him hopping on from Dodger Stadium. That's the talk of sports today. The 18-inning marathon last night, almost 7 hours. That's just wild. I'm fighting the good fight, I think, for fans that want to get some sleep and still watch the best thing in baseball, which is the World Series. I just don't want to be a mess today for, my 7th grade girls basketball practice tonight. I mean, it's serious stuff. So I'm just trying to live life here. Let's give me a runner on second, provide some fireworks. I'm good. 18 innings? All right. Clinton Yates I knew it. He's the traditional. He said, do not change that. There's people that are telling me don't change it. What do you say about last night? Runner on second, move it, some fireworks, get extra innings cranking, or just do what you did last night? 7 hours, 19 pitchers. Oof. Matthew Coller's on tonight. I'm not sure if he's a baseball guy or not. I know he's a football guy, purpleinsider.com. I know he's a basketball guy. He follows the Lynx and T-Wolves and that whole scene. Matthew Coller, were you sleeping or watching the World Series last night?
I think I watched until about the 11th inning, and then I called it a night. I mean, if it was a team that was in it that I was really committed to, then you know what? I would have grinded it out.
Okay.
But in this case, I was not willing to fight for that. That
okay,
was too long.
I'm with you on that. If it's your team, you're in it. And I just was joking around about this. So you stayed into like the 11th inning. So my deal is, you put a runner on second like they do to shorten the regular season games. I'm good with that. Are you in a World Series?
No, I can't get on board with you there. I'm not. I think, in fact, I don't know that I was ever on board with a runner on second in the regular season. I think I'd rather see him just declare ties than I would have a cartoon ending. But I guess we've gotten to that in a bunch of sports, in college football and in the shootout and everything else. But I just look. I mean, how often does this ever happen? Almost never. That's what makes it special. And the fact that both teams had to grind through it, that becomes a major storyline in the World Series. So I do feel bad for all those people who waited up, inning after inning after inning for the thing to end. But I want it to be a true result. I don't want it to be a fake, they knocked in the guy that just was set there for reasons. I think I would rather just see it play out.
Okay, spoken from a guy who went to bed in the 11th inning. But anyway, okay, all right, good stuff, Matthew. Let's get to the Vikings. I want to ask you, before we get into the injury stuff and all that, Vikings lose to the Chargers in a big way. The injuries have been mounting up all year. I want to know where you're at on the team at 3-4. My question is, do they have a big problem right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think are one of the worst teams in the entire NFL. I mean, the 2 wins that they have were against really bad teams, and they were in the very last moments against those really bad teams. If you look at, outside of the win against Cincinnati, their point differential is terrible. They have had one of the worst overall quarterback performances between J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz. Every time they've played a quarterback worth anything, they've gotten run out of the building. I mean, it's been the exact opposite of how anybody thought this season would go. And I think that's put a lot of pressure on a lot of people, on Kevin O'Connell and his coaching, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah and the roster construction. I think philosophically, the idea made sense. You go to the young quarterback, you stack up the roster, but the players that they've stacked the roster with have not performed anywhere to the level that they thought they would. And there's been so many injuries across the board, but you're allowed to overcome injuries in the NFL, and every time they haven't had people in, it seems to have destroyed them. So now I think we've gotten past the competitive part of the season. I just don't think this team is competitive at all. the rest of the way, unless they have a wild change in how they're playing defensively. The entire season now is just, do you have something in J.J. McCarthy, and can this kid play 10 games in a row without getting hurt again? I mean, when you compare the 2024 draft class, Bo Nix has dropped back to pass 900 times already in his career. J.J. McCarthy has 55 dropbacks. I mean, they need to learn about what they have to go forward, because to me, this season is already pretty much lost when it comes to being in the playoffs.
It's interesting, man. Who is going to shoulder? You mentioned coach, you mentioned Kwesi. Who shoulders this decision-making process that has sent this team in a tailspin? Is the Sam Darnold move, was that the start of it?
Yeah, I think it's everybody. I think you could look at, when it comes to losing Sam Darnold, I mean, that goes to all levels, right? I don't think that the ownership wanted to pay an expensive quarterback again, and I think that O'Connell was confident enough in his ability to coach him up when it came to J.J. McCarthy, and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah built this entire roster to be ready for the rookie quarterback contract. So, it's not like they were really in a position to afford an expensive quarterback if they wanted to bring back Darnold. But, if Darnold was the only reason for this, if it was just the quarterback, then I would say, wow, they really blew this. They really missed a big opportunity. But that's not the only thing. It's been a lot of the different moves on defense and so forth. It's been way more than just, one player at one position didn't play up to their expectations. So, I think it goes all the way from the top down, from, the ownership deciding on this to how they went about free agency, to how they've drafted, to how they've coached. And, Brian Flores is supposed to be the genius wizard that no one can solve. Well, it hasn't looked like that at all this year. So I think that you could point to pretty much every level of this and say that there's different problems. So, I think it's also on all of them to be able to turn it around, at least to make this season competitive, because if we get to the point where you're talking about 5-6 wins, there has to be changes. And I don't mean firing Kevin O'Connell necessarily. I think that would be an overreaction, but front office, coaching staff, does Brian Flores come back? There's a lot that's up in the air that's going to be determined over the next 10 weeks.
When did this turn for you? You said, well, I don't think they're competitive. When did this turn? The Chargers game just Thursday?
Yeah, it really did, because to me that was, if you get to 4-3 and McCarthy's coming back and it looks like, all right, you lost a tough game to Philadelphia, you lost a tough game to Pittsburgh, both of those were fairly close, but when you are getting run out of the building by a team that is just okay, and they've got a good quarterback for sure, but I don't think anybody was saying about the Chargers that they were a Super Bowl favorite or anything like that, and you get run out of their building and don't even begin the game. It was over so fast the other night, and they couldn't stop anything on defense. They couldn't block at all for Carson Wentz. You got the coach playing Carson Wentz while he's in extreme pain and not taking him out of the game to put in Max Brosmer. It's all looking real bad, and I know that's just one game, but the accumulation now of the overall numbers is, there's nothing here that says you're competitive overall after a loss like that. Not your point differential, not your expected points added, not your PFF grades. You can't find a stat that says the Vikings are good. So to that end, and their only wins came against Cleveland and Chicago. Cincinnati, those are terrible teams. It's just, there's not a whole lot that looks particularly good here, which is why now it all directs to, if you could get some wins with McCarthy, if he looks like he's your future quarterback, then you could chalk this up to, well, there was a lot of injuries, a lot of things went wrong, and you're making the changes to get back on track. You have the offensive weapons. You have the linemen that you've invested in. You're supposed to have the head coach to be able to guide a young quarterback. So you can change this entire narrative to, hey, you're a team for next year. But, to think that they could overhaul so much in the middle of the season, going against Detroit twice more, going against Green Bay twice more, it's just very hard to believe.
Matthew Coller on tonight, courtesy of the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. He's Purple Insider. Get the newsletter, check the site, Purple Insider, Matthew Coller on. So the Carson Wentz deal, we now know he was injured bad. People are reporting this. Well, he said he's okay to play. So the coach just said, we'll play. So is this a real controversy? Was this a bad thing, Carson Wentz out there? What if he said, I can play? What should have happened?
Well, first of all, there's a reason they have, for boxers, a guy in the corner who can throw in the towel because, the player is always going to go out there and try to fight, right? I mean, we know how tough Carson Wentz is, that he was always going to try to do that. And when the game was 24-10, I was okay with, hey, if he can fight through it, try to win this game by any means possible. Maybe you get a miracle comeback or something. You're still within two drives. But when it gets to 31-10, and Kevin O'Connell calls 6 more pass plays for Carson Wentz, when you are down to a 0% chance to come back and win that game, that's where it didn't make any sense to me. When he had shown all the signs of just being in complete agony, and then you're still calling pass plays. I mean, even if they were just handing off or running screens or something, I guess you could justify him still being out there. But you're so terrified to play the other quarterback that you can't even bring him in under those circumstances where the game is already completely lost. To me, that was Kevin O'Connell just losing control at that point, and maybe even taking out some frustration by continuing to send Carson Wentz out there. I don't know. I can't get in his head for why he made that decision. He's had a couple of different explanations. I haven't really bought any of them. I just think he lost a sense of what was going on in that game out of sheer frustration, maybe anger, and didn't maybe pay enough attention to how much agony his quarterback was really in. And I think it was a bad look for him. And if you're in the locker room now, I mean, this is supposed to be your player's coach. It's supposed to be the coach that, played in the league and has his players in mind and their safety. And, they could say all they want. Oh, his shoulder would have been fine if he continued to get hit. I mean, okay, that's fine. But, I mean, why is this person out there just suffering for a team that's down 21 points with 7 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter and has 0 chance to win? I mean, that's where it got me. I mean, I think there's even an argument that when a quarterback that was in so much pain trying to play, you could have brought in Max Brosmer earlier that might have given you a better chance to actually win the game. But even if you don't buy that one, at 31-10, 34-10, he called 4 pass plays when they were down 34-10. That doesn't make any sense to me.
All right. It's interesting. Torn labrum, busted up shoulder, bad injury. Carson Wentz now getting surgery. He's out for the rest of the year. So is this the last one for Matthew Coller joins us. Check out his site, Purple Insider. Great Vikings coverage if you haven't seen it. Really good on YouTube as well. So is this the first real adversity Kevin O'Connell's kind of faced, meaning from Vikings country? I know there was a year where Josh Dobbs and all the injuries and it just didn't go right. This feels like, hey, this was a big year, and now the year's slipping away, and now we're questioning Kevin O'Connell. Is this adversity big one for him?
100%, yes, 100%. And because it goes along with a huge contract extension, it goes along with a Coach of the Year award last year, it also goes along with 0 playoff wins. I mean, how many regimes are 4 years in with 0 playoff wins, assuming they can't make it this year, and there's no pressure? I mean, that's ludicrous to think about. So I do think that there is an impatience, a frustration, and look, it does all go back to J.J. McCarthy not playing, and that's frustrating in itself. But I think when things like this happen with Carson Wentz and the way they lost the game, it's amplified. I mean, they've been embarrassed on national TV now a number of times with Kevin O'Connell, whether it was in Detroit last year in the playoffs, and then, on Thursday night against a decent Chargers team, but not a great Chargers team. And you start to look and go, well, how many good teams have they beaten lately? I mean, even with a 14-3 season, a lot of it was fueled by an easy schedule. So, I mean, I think that the heat is starting to ramp up. That doesn't mean fire Kevin O'Connell. It means you got to see some really good things out of J.J. McCarthy toward the end of this season, or you're going to start asking about the quarterback whisperer thing, and you're going to start asking, can he really take this franchise where they were supposed to go? And that is unfortunately how fast things change in the NFL. But I think you learn a lot about coaches when they are faced with adversity, and you're right that this is the first time we've really truly seen it for Kevin O'Connell.
Great segment tonight. Matthew Coller, his site is Purple Insider. Vikings fans, he's live from the Twin Cities on the Nate Brown Show across the state of South Dakota. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. South Dakota Sports Talk Show with Matthew Coller, Purple Insider. Coverage from the Vikings perspective from Matthew Coller. That was interesting. Matthew Coller, tough today. Vikings not really competitive. Real adversity questioning Kevin O'Connell. It's, and guess who they get to play? Detroit up next. I said yesterday the Vikings are not in big trouble yet. And then I said, I'll come back next week and we'll find out what happens in this Lions game, and we could have some problems. When you go 3-5, and depending on how this goes this weekend, Sunday, this is going to see, are they in big trouble? It's not great. Let me just say that. It's not great. And let's go to the baseball question of the day. We got some texts coming in. We'll read those and get your answers. Did you watch the whole game last night? We got people across South Dakota that are texting and they watched, but there are thousands more that didn't. They slept like me. I want to know, did you watch, or be honest, you were sleeping and you wish that the game was over quicker? Runner on second, exciting. There's a hit. Freddie Freeman, the Dodgers win in the 10th. Right? That's, what do you say about the 7-hour game last night? 19 pitchers, and now it's a survival of the fittest tonight. I don't want that. I don't want to miss the Super Bowl when it goes till 2:30 in the morning. That's what this is like. So you got to have a situation here where you can get some of these baseball games in exciting ways over with. I like the cartoon ending of college football overtime. Is there anybody that dislikes college football overtime? Anybody? We got a lot to cover here. Sports and overtime. How do you handle it? Baseball just lets it go till the next day. I mean, they could still be playing right now. They could still be playing right now. We'll get to the question of the day and your answers coming up.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside. You don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on, and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There's a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street, featuring 4 full courts for basketball and volleyball. E3 Sports Complex is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight, Fox Sports Radio. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show, powered by Black Hills Federal Credit Union. Literally my banking partner, and I'm telling you, 4 locations in Sioux Falls, 18 locations from Custer to Sioux Falls. Mobile banking on my phone, saved me a ton of time. You want to become a member, Black Hills Federal Credit Union, start at bhfcu.com. From personal to business banking, I'm a member. I'm glad I switched from my last place. bhfcu.com. Start there. Brian Noe's coming up tonight on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Radio national host. Good stuff. We'll talk ball with Brian Noe. Trent Singer's in tonight from Sioux Falls Live. Covers high school football. The playoffs a couple of days away. Everybody in the playoff mode now. And South Dakota high school football, Trent Singer on tap tonight. Question of the day. Are you good with baseball's long marathon postseason games like last night? 18 innings, almost 7 hours. 19 pitchers. It's a grinder. I did not watch. I did not watch the end of it. The Freddie Freeman walk-off homer. It's all great. It's all exciting. And I am finding people across South Dakota Sports Talk Show, that's good stuff that you guys stayed up and watched it. Here's a guy. This is a true South Dakota guy right here. Listener text coming in. Tell me if you watched the whole thing or if you were sleeping like me. And I still would have been interested in the runner on second base and the excitement. Both teams get a chance. It's not like both teams wouldn't get a chance at that. People say that's a fake way to do it. Well, both teams get a chance like the college football overtime. Start at the 25. The other team starts at the 25. I see it this way. You start in scoring position in college football overtime. You start in scoring position in baseball, which they do in the regular season, but now not in the postseason. You tell me. Marathon game last night, good for baseball or not? 605-720-1067. Listener text here. I watched it to the very end, got up at 6:30 this morning and went to work. I like that attitude. He says, we need to stop trying to change baseball. No runner on second. Well, but here's the thing. They already put a runner on second in the regular season. And all of those games count. Those games count. I just want baseball's biggest stage. I've been a baseball fan my entire life. I want the biggest stage to reflect that everybody can watch it. Little Jimmy. What do you mean? How about little Jimmy back in Central Time Zone? He couldn't watch it. He has school tomorrow. He couldn't watch America's Pastime. Are we ever worried about little Jimmy? I mean, come on. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. Good afternoon. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Can you hear me? You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Is my voice all broke up?
A little bit, but you go ahead.
My bad. All right. Hey, I don't mind the late games, but what are you going to do? Start them at 2? Because it's going to end when we're having dinner. They're too long, but
okay.
It is what it is.
Okay.
It's fine. And then my only other point before I get off the phone bugging you is, are the Vikings going to win by double or lose? Sorry, by double or this weekend? I just hope JJ doesn't care. He's going to get sacked by 10 times.
Oh man, you're starting to bail on the Vikings. I heard that much. I heard that much.
No. Yeah, it's going to be bad. So we're starting to fade. There's always next year.
Okay. All right. Oh, my gosh.
Have a good one, man.
Thanks, Brett. I appreciate you. McJudger said, I mean, what is today? Well, what is today for you Vikings fans? This is a random Tuesday in October. We're coming up on Halloween. Is it all you guys that stayed up last night till 2:30 in the morning watching baseball and now you're punch drunk? Now you give up on the Vikings. They're done. They're dead. They're never coming back. See you next year. Come on. Let's bring some energy tonight. Let's see. 75% of my audience says last night was great for baseball. 25% say I wouldn't mind starting a runner on second base. Lister text, Nate, I like the postseason the way it is. The only thing I would change is if a batter comes up, you must face the batter. No intentional walks. Oh, that's interesting. No intentional walks. I had another idea here. This guy said, I tried to watch it last night, conked out at 15 innings. Baseball isn't broke that bad. Let's compromise and put the guy on first base in extra innings. And it's a double play. And we'll see you in inning number 17 after the 6 more double plays. Anyway, thanks for that. Listener text, give a walked batter, if you intentionally walk a batter, 2 bases in extra innings. 2 bases. Not a bad idea. More text coming in. Lister text, I'm not a baseball fan at all, but I watched the entire game last night. Have to keep the postseason games traditional. Yeah, that's the feeling I'm getting. That's the feeling I'm getting. See, and we all, could stay up late. We all could watch this. That's why I'm in a better mood than a lot of you guys today. No, I'm kidding. You're fine. You're fine, everybody. Relax. The Vikings are not dead yet. Just wait till Sunday. Anyway, if you were a fan, the stadium, leaving the 18-inning game, how long were you stuck in traffic? Yeah, I know. My goodness. You're talking L.A.? What time did you guys get home? Little Jimmy was, boy. Did anybody have their kid stay up last night? Right? I've had sports fans chime in saying, hey, I stayed up, and I had pulled pork and pancakes for breakfast this morning. Well, that's great. I want to know if anybody's kids stayed up last night to watch the game. Not even close. I mean, if you're a Dodgers lifer in L.A., you stayed up. Toronto, who knows what they do, but that's late. It was 4:30 in the morning in Toronto. Come on now. You're taking the game out of the hands of fans. Lister text just came in. Can you imagine being a Toronto fan and staying up until 3, 4 to watch your team lose? I know, especially like that. It's another Freddie Freeman walk-off. Oh, I could have saw that in the 10th. A runner on second. Lister text. This is from a Vikings fan. It's rapid fire today. Bro, the Vikings are cooked. I know. I can tell. We cooked them today. I'm not cooking them yet. You guys are out on the Vikes, and you're in on an 18-inning game. That's what's going together tonight. You're delirious. Let's stay dialed in, okay? Into the next hour. Let's go high school football. Can we go lighter a little bit? Lighter. 18-inning games, Vikings being cooked. How about high school football? Wait. Would it be true that high school football coaches would cut players if we made this change? This is an interesting subject next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Atomic Wings, 2 locations in Sioux Falls. You don't need to keep going to the mediocre wing places with too much breading and wings that don't have any meat. Atomic Wings is different. I know firsthand. Their boneless wings are made with fresh chicken right there. The best wings I've had. 15 unique flavors to choose from sweet to heat. Huge traditional wings, fresh boneless wings for game day, lunch, or dinner. 2 locations in Sioux Falls. Just order at atomicwings.com. Atomicwings.com.
Mom, can we please go to Watiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Watiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Watiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WatikiWaterPark.com.
Need tires? Danny Menno Toyota will match anyone's price on tires, plus give you 2-year road hazard coverage at no extra charge. And for a limited time, get a $100 instant discount, plus any available manufacturer's rebates on sets of 4 tires. Our experts help you get the right tires for your vehicle, and we match any price, give you 2 years of road hazard coverage, and up to a $100 instant discount. That's how we roll. See us at Danny Menno Toyota or justhowweroll.com.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank and Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and all of us at Renewal urge you to get your home tested for radon now. When Renewal's owner offered to pay for radon testing and mitigation if radon was found in our homes, several Renewal by Anderson team members found dangerously high levels of radon in their homes. This colorless, odorless gas is a killer. After smoking, radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer. The EPA estimates that radon causes 21,000 lung cancer deaths each year. Radon may also be linked to breast and other cancers, Parkinson's, dementia. Testing for radon is simple. Home tests cost under $20. Professional testing may be a couple of $100, and if you have radon, it's easy to get rid of with a relatively inexpensive system that blows that radon out of a vent. From all of us at your local Renewal by Anderson, please invest in your family's safety today. Get a radon test today. There could be an invisible killer in your home right now.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Thanks for being here. Tuesday edition. We're in the second hour. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio. Appreciate our affiliates across the state. Appreciate our sponsors and really appreciate you, the listeners, making this show happen. Wouldn't be able to do it. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. The Nate Brown Show live tonight. Great guests coming up. Hang on for Brian Noe. It's a Tuesday with the Noe Show. Brian Noe talking ball live from Las Vegas. Fox Sports Radio, national host of Countdown to Kickoff. We'll go high school football with Trent Singer on tap tonight. Sports writer out of Sioux Falls Live, SiouxFallsLive.com. First time on the show with Trent Singer in tonight. The Nate Brown Show, built by Blackburn Foundation Repair. They remind you right now, you want to take a look at your home. Is your foundation secure? Do you have a crawl space? Is it dry? Is your air clean? Is your family safe? Blackburn Foundation Repair does it all. Local experts in South Dakota since 1992, all across the state. Blackburn Foundation Repair, whether it's radon mitigation systems, their team will take a look. Strong structure, moisture and mold prevention. Start at blackburnrepair.com. Your home is big time, and Blackburn's there, protecting homes, protecting families. Blackburnrepair.com. Take your home off the injured list. Start there. Speaking of high school football, I want to go back to last week and this big discussion. We had a lot of reaction, a lot of listeners sending in messages about the Montana high school system when it looks at teams that want to move down in class, in division, I should say. Teams that want to move down because they're maybe not competitive, they're losing numbers, things like this. The Montana High School Association takes into account roster size over the last 4 years. So that was a big element, and I thought, Well, that's interesting. I want to find a new system in South Dakota to classify teams to help teams that are really, really struggling with numbers just because they have a big enrollment, they haven't won games, they have nobody playing football, and there's got to be a better way to do this in South Dakota. So I want to stay dialed in on this. The roster size thing is a discussion point. And then what happens is then people find a way to say no, which is fine. I'm good to have the discussion. People say, no, Nate, you can't do roster size over the last 4 years because then coaches are going to cut players. So they're going to say, we can't have this many players because we want to stay in 11A or 11AA, whatever class you want to say. I actually was told that that would be a concern. Some coaches sent me that on messages. There's some people that say, yeah, that might happen. So then I asked the Montana High School Association Executive Director last week, Brian Michelotti. He was on this show. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. We won't play the interview again, but you can find it there from last week. I asked him, you guys take into account roster sizes. Have you ever had teams in Montana cut players? Have you had this happen at all? Because it'd be a big deal. That'd be a big controversy. And he said he hasn't had it happen once. So it has not come across his desk. This is a Montana High School Association Executive Director. I said, people are looking at your model, and you take into account enrollment and roster size average and a success factor, how the team, how have they done, wins, losses, playoffs, and free and reduced lunch at your school. That's the formula they use for data to see if teams can move down. Why couldn't we do that? And people say here, there's coaches that they might cut players just to get under the number. They might manipulate the system. So I asked the question of the day. I asked it to the Montana guy. He said, no, we haven't had that happen in Montana. But then so I'll ask it here tonight. Do you believe coaches in South Dakota would manipulate a new system like this, taking into roster size for classifications? So they'd say, we got to cut players, otherwise we're going to have to move up. For one, it's a 4-year average. So it's not like you could just be like, hey, this year we have too many guys. Hey, Jimmy and Timmy, you're gone. No. It's a 4-year average. You're not just taking 1 year. Hey, is this a big enough team? Is this keep them in 11A, 11AA, 11AAA? It's a 4-year average. So we always try and find this, well, then there has to be a mandatory no-cut rule. And we got to say nobody can cut. The guy in Montana said, football being a numbers game, coaches know I need a depth chart. I need a program. I need these players, and numbers is what counts in football. So he said, nobody's doing that. He said, no good coaches would do that. That's what the Montana guy said here on the show. So I'll ask that question of the day. That's my, I threw it out. We got 106 votes right now, so a lot of people chiming in. If roster size averages were part of the criteria here in South Dakota for football classification, do you believe coaches would manipulate the system and cut players to stay under a number? Yes, players would get cut, or no, they wouldn't cut. There's no way they would cut. That's my question of the day. 605-720-1067. If you want to chime in, I'd like to hear from you. What is the poll result right now? Well, it's playing out. Everybody's worried. 69% are voting. It's just voters on social media. Take it for what it's worth. 69% say players would get cut by coaches in football. The Montana High School Executive Director said nobody does that in Montana. They use roster size to determine if teams, when they want to move down, they look at it and say, how do you look? Nobody said, well, if we want to move down, we should cut the players so we can get under the number, and then we'll be good to go. He said no football coach is going to be cutting players. 69% of the audience votes tonight. Players would get cut by coaches in South Dakota. 31% say there's no way they would cut players. That is lopsided. Listener reaction coming in. This is out of Minnesota. Life's not fair, and that includes high school sports. There will always be haves and have-nots. Well, good luck. Lister text, absolutely no coach worth his salt's going to limit the number of players on his roster. It's all about the numbers. The more, the merrier. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I am with you. Listener text, the Douglas Patriots don't have enough players to cut. Yeah. Let's see. Listener text, schools already manipulate the system by throwing out some students out of their enrollment to say they're not eligible students. For sports, that's right. To stay in a certain class. Let's see here. Listener text, it seems like we're all jaded today. Yikes. This is a feel-good show. A feel-good show. And then I thought, I'm going to throw out the question. The Montana high school guy said nobody would get cut. Nobody has gotten cut. Montana's used this. He said, I haven't heard of anybody getting cut to keep your roster low. So we can move down. Let's keep our roster low so we can move down. But 69% of my voting audience on social media said if you did the roster average for classification as part of the criteria, not the only, just part, 69% say you'd worry about coaches cutting players. All right. I don't buy that, not in football. I know players get cut in a lot of sports, a ton of sports. I understand that. I've seen that. But football, you're going to cut players to just get under a number? So you don't have to play Big Bad Sioux Falls or something? I don't know. I do not see the Watertowns of the world cutting players to stay in 11AA, right? If you're listening. Anyway, Brian Noe coming back. Fox Sports Radio national host. Does he think the Vikings are cooked, as you say? Brian Noe coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Text scams continue to rise, and victims who have lost money to these scams continues to increase. Consumers cannot rely on a text message to be truthful. If you receive a message regarding a fine for missing jury duty, your utilities being shut off for non-payment, toll road fines, or you've won a sweepstakes, these are scams designed with an urgency and the need to send money now. Do not respond to these texts, and you should contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986. That's 800-300-1986 for the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
At Dakota Discount RV, we're in it for the long haul, just like you. Whether it's cross-country adventures, weekends by the lake, or family time under the stars, we're here to keep you rolling for years to come. While others are packing up, we're doubling down with dependable service, great prices, and the biggest selection in the region. Your journey doesn't stop here, and neither do we. Here tomorrow, here for every mile ahead. Visit us in Rapid City or Somerset or online at dakotadiscountrv.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 27 tonight under clear skies, northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. High of 55 tomorrow, mainly clear skies. Lows dip down to about 36 tomorrow night, clear skies. Sunshine expected Thursday with daytime highs approaching 56. 48 Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 44.
Get unmatched selection at the best prices in the Black Hills from your Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. This month's specials include a $6.50 savings off all flavors of Kahlua, now $23.49. Or save $3 off 19 Crimes wines, now just $8.99. Plus, you can order an ice-cold brew in their adjoining Campfire Bar and enjoy it while you shop. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores, off Catron Boulevard next to Walmart, or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Football is on, and your place for all the action is at the BetMGM Sportsbook in Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort.
And he's got a touchdown!
Don't miss a second of your favorite matchups with wall-to-wall television arrays and personalized audio technology.
Touchdown, Denver!
Now offering live betting so you can keep your luck rolling while the game is still going. Grab a lounge chair or pull up to a table and order off a full menu of food and drinks from Patty O'Neill's. BetMGM at 10 Lizzie is the #1 sportsbook in Deadwood, where it's always game on.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding door and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Hey, if you're looking for a place for dinner, man, the wings that I tried, really, really good. The boneless wings, fresh right there, 15 different flavors, atomicwings.com. Just put in your order. You can pick it up. Great, convenient, 2 locations in Sioux Falls, atomicwings.com. These wings are unreal. Really, really good. I'm not just saying that, man. I had them. I was talking to those guys. I'm like, man, you got to tell people about Atomic Wings. So new in Sioux Falls, 2 locations. These are the ones. atomicwings.com. Put your order in. You're good to go. Pick up the kids at practice, all that good stuff, and you're good to go tonight. All right, Brian Knows on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. He's on Fox Sports Radio every weekend. Countdown to kickoff live. He's from Las Vegas right now. Brian, welcome in. How are you?
Good, Nate. Always great to talk to you, man. I'll tell you what. You and I, we both enjoy a good wing from time to time. Do we not?
You better believe that. You better believe it. I'm going to ask you if you enjoy a 7-hour, 18-inning game from time to time. Do you enjoy what we saw last night?
I did, Nate. I enjoyed it, but, man, I don't know how. I'm going to be completely honest and vulnerable with you right here. I'm watching it, and I know baseball purists are going to hate this. And I'm not saying they should do this in the postseason, but baseball purists hate the ghost runner on second base to start extras in the regular season. I freaking love it, Nate. I am not trying to see an 18-inning game in the regular season. Put that ghost runner on second base. Let's score some runs and wrap this bad boy up here, huh? I'm fine with them not doing that in the postseason, but no, my idea of great fun is not 18 innings, even though that was a classic. It's too long for my liking.
Okay, so I thought I was the only guy with the hot take today, but that was my take. I actually said it provides excitement. It's like college football. I'm in scoring position at the 25. Both teams get it. I like the college football overtime, and I said, why not do that in baseball? This is like the Super Bowl getting over at 2:30 in the morning. We can't have that. You can't have it. So I said I'm going to say the hot take. So me and Brian Noah are on the same page. I actually wouldn't mind the runner on second. Both teams get it. Why not? It's the same thing. Why? Why do we have to go?
Wow, you wouldn't mind it. Yeah, I'm against it in the postseason, even though, listen, man, a lot of those innings, although it's high drama, I'd be lying to you if I wasn't like, when is this game going to end? You know, like when you're in the middle of it. And I don't know how long just extra innings were. You know, it had to be about half the time. That probably about 3 hours with extra innings. So that's a long haul, man. Definitely a long haul right there.
I did not stay up for it. I admitted that to my audience. I wasn't your tried and true sports doc host staying up till 2 in the morning. So I have to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at 6 in the morning for my kids. So give me a break, okay? All right. Let me ask you, football. Let's go to the NFL. I have some Vikings fans here that they were chiming in today. They're depressed. They say this is a bad spot to be. They're not competitive. And a Vikings fan said, we are cooked. Are the Vikings cooked? 3-4, facing the Lions this Sunday.
Man, Nate, when you look at the schedule, and it's Lions, maybe a healthier Ravens team with Lamar, Then you get, the Bears. You can get the Bears, but it's divisional games. And at the Packers, at the Seahawks, there are a lot of L's on this schedule here in November, Nate. Like the 5 games, they might be 1-4, maybe 2-3 best case scenario. If they're 2-3 best case scenario, that's a 5-7 football team. Like, yeah, man, I think they're probably cooked. I hate to say that just 8 weeks in, and they've only played 7 games, but unless J.J. McCarthy comes back and looks like a top 10 overall draft pick, which he played 7 out of 8 quarters that he played were bad. Man, I just don't see it in the cards for them. That's such a tough division. It's a tougher schedule. There are limited playoff spots. I don't see J.J. McCarthy raising his play to the level that it's going to take for them to even get into the playoffs. So, yeah, I would agree with that listener. I do think they're cooked.
Tough Tuesday. So Kevin O'Connell is beloved, coach of the year. Look at what he's done with these QBs, Sam Darnold, and we'll see with McCarthy. But he's beloved. 14-3 last year. Now people, for the first time, he's hitting adversity. They're questioning him about the Carson Wentz decision and the J.J. McCarthy draft pick with Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, the GM. So they're questioning Kevin O'Connell. Is that fair to say, hey, this guy hasn't won a playoff game for him? Is Kevin O'Connell perceived better than he is?
It's an interesting question, Nate. I think the perception is accurate. I think that he's a bright offensive mind, bright young coach. Like when you win 14 games with Sam Darnold, you're doing something really well, And I don't want to make Sam Darnold out to be a dumpster fire. He's like a step up from a dumpster fire. What's the next? I don't know, whatever that is. Like dead raccoon. That's Sam Darnold. No, I'm kidding. But when you win 14 games with Sam Darnold, that's pretty freaking good. And I know you can sit here and be like, where are the playoff wins and where's this and where's that? But at the end of the day, Sam Darnold was his quarterback. Now he's got a first-year starting quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, who was only healthy for 2 games. He's got Carson Wentz. I think that you could look at some of the decisions that were made with, well, they had Daniel Jones on the roster and didn't want to pay him. They didn't pursue Aaron Rodgers. They ended up with, Sam Howell. They had Sam Howell in there. And I think some of the personnel decisions, I think it makes a lot more sense to question those. I mean, put it this way. Did Shane Steichen all of a sudden just learn how to coach football? Or did he get a somewhat competent quarterback that he's making look way better? I think it's the latter, Nate. Anthony Richardson was freaking brutal in the NFL. And now all of a sudden Shane Steichen looks like he knows what he's doing because he's got a competent QB in Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is among the league leaders. So as that relates to KOC is, you give him, like a Daniel Jones type, are you betting against Kevin O'Connell? I'm definitely not. So I do not think this is the time to question him to the point where you're like selling your stock on the guy. I would not be doing that.
Okay. Brian Noah, great stuff. Fox Sports Radio national host. The show is Countdown to Kickoff Saturday and Sunday, getting you ready for the biggest games all weekend long here on Fox Sports Radio, and he's on the Nate Brown Show across South Dakota tonight. So are you believing in the Packers again, or are the Lions the best team in the NFC North?
Man, I really love the Lions. Their schedule's pretty tough. The Packers, it's and this is going to sound like a jab, but it's more so like a compliment, maybe a bit of a backhanded compliment. We talked about this last week, Nate, where the Packers give me kind of like Broncos vibes, where they're not wowing us, but they're winning games. If you look at the Packers, all right, they lost to the Browns. They tied the Cowboys. They didn't cover the spread against the Arizona Cardinals. That's why a lot of people were fading them last week against the Steelers. And what happened? They hit the accelerator in the second half and just pulled right away. And when you look up, you're like, wow, this team is 5-1-1. Even though they haven't wowed us, they've lost to a team that they have no business losing to. That's the Browns' only win. The Browns' win is against the Packers right there. And so, it's not a great body of work. Well, I guess they have one more against my Dolphins, but that's like AAA team over there in Miami. That doesn't even really count. But the point is, even though the Packers aren't wowing us, at the end of the day, their record is 5-1-1. And just like your Broncos, even though there were a lot of games where they weren't wowing us, they were lucky to win against the Giants, so lucky to win. They barely beat the Jets, not wowing us. But at the end of the day, they're 6-2. And I think both the Broncos and the Packers, even though it hasn't been a Picasso all season long, they're stacking wins. And they're going to be a problem for their respective conferences when it comes to sort out who's seeded where. The Packers have a shot to be the 1 seed, even though they haven't been wowing us. So there's a lot to like with the Packers. They have the inside track, I'll say that, to winning the division and possibly even the 1 seed, Nate.
Broncos, you mentioned them. They play the Texans. I don't know where that goes this week, but if you beat the Texans, then it's the Raiders Thursday Night Football next week. Broncos could be 8-2 heading into a home matchup against the Chiefs. At 8-2, you got to be saying my Broncos are the real deal.
I don't know, Nate. Beating the Raiders does absolutely nothing for me. I'm not buying into a team that does that. And just beating the Texans with their sucky offensive line, it takes a little bit more to wow me. 8-2 sounds like a sparkling record.
Yeah.
But, Sertan's banged up. It's going to take more than the Texans and the Raiders to get to 8-2 for me to be like, I'm selling my Chiefs stock. Broncos to win the AFC West. I can't say. Now, if you beat the Chiefs on top of those other 2 wins, now we're talking.
Okay, that's the key. I understand. I said that weeks ago. Let's not crown the Broncos yet. You still have to get through the Chiefs. And Brian Noe is telling us the Chiefs are hitting their stride. Do you feel really good about the Chiefs?
I do. I feel really good about the Chiefs. Huge game for them against the Bills. Can't wait to see that one. But, yeah, man, you see what they're doing offensively, and that was a little bit of a sloppy performance, at least the first 2 drives where Mahomes had 2 interceptions. One was a fluke, bouncing off a receiver, bouncing off of Kelsey. But, listen, the Chiefs have done a really good job protecting the football. They only have 4 giveaways on the season. That's tied for 3rd in the NFL, 3rd best with the Colts. So they've done a really good job protecting the football, and like half of their giveaways happened last night against the Commanders. So I really love their offense. It's not easy to run the football on them. Spags will have the defense dialed up. So, I think they're going to be a problem as we go through the rest of the season here.
Broncos Chiefs coming up in a couple of weeks in Denver, and I will be there, Brian. No, you book that. I've got my tickets. Broncos Chiefs. A little breaking news for you on the Nate Brown Show tonight.
Nice. I like it. Very nice. I know you're going to be are you going to be rocking a jersey, like a Broncos hoodie? What do we have picked out for that one?
We'll see. We'll just play that bear. I do not have a Bo Nix jersey. Don't put me in that category quite yet. Not quite yet. Last one. I'm going to ask you about this betting scandal, and we've seen this now with players. You talk about betting, BetMGM Sportsbook. We have an official partnership. I go to Deadwood, South Dakota, and we all do this. The player props is how all of these investigations seem like get flagged. It's all of the player prop bets. How does this get under control, or is it with the regulations that we're catching these player prop bets? But allegedly, it's still happening. So how do you do this?
It's really interesting, Nate, because on one hand, I'll try to be as fair about this as possible. Because, I bet on games, and but I don't want to be like, I like betting, don't take away my betting. I'll try to be as fair about this as possible. On one hand, I look at this, and it's like, we don't talk about alcohol the same way as sports betting, right? Just follow me for a second. If something bad happens, someone is driving drunk, and maybe it goes south from there. There's a bad accident, something bad happens. You rarely hear anyone saying, we got to get rid of this alcohol around here. Alcohol is leading to bad things. Like, people don't say that. They say, this guy, this driver, male, female, was an idiot for getting behind the wheel while tanked. Like, that person is the idiot. But for some reason, when it comes to sports betting, It's not like, hey, Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, or whoever, they're the alleged idiots. It's like, we got to take sports betting away. Like, it's too much of a problem. I don't like that. Now, on the other hand of that is, could I see it in the near future, somewhere down the road, where these prop bets, either the menus are limited or it's not a two-way market, meaning you could bet over, 5.5 rebounds or under 5.5 rebounds or whatever the prop is. Maybe it's just a one-way market. Maybe you can just go with the over, or it's like
That's
5+ rebounds.
Yeah.
Yes, you can only bet one way. Could we see the unders go away? Because that's where the corruption is really taking place with the bad actors. Like, the bad actors are going to get punished. There's an argument where the prop bet unders shouldn't go away, but is it sort of evolving in that direction where, yeah, Adam Silver, is talking with DraftKings like, yo, hey, can you help us out here? And it sort of kind of meanders to this land of you can only bet 6+, yes, or 8+, yes, or you can't bet the under. So whatever, the point guard, the quarterback isn't saying, hey, yo, take my unders. After the first quarter, my foot is going to hurt, and I'm going to be out of the game. It takes that option away. And if that same guy says, hey, man, hammer my overs, I'm going to have a killer game tonight, there's no corruption right there, So I don't see the overs or the yeses going away. But could I see the unders and the nos going away? Yeah, I could see that falling by the wayside sometime down the road here.
Very interesting. Wanted his take on it. Brian No is on Fox Sports Radio. The show is Countdown to Kickoff every weekend. Find him on X at The No Show, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. Brian, I always appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Always great hanging with you, Nate. And I'll leave you with this. Going back to wings, I am a sweet barbecue man. And I think South Dakota needs to know what you are as well.
Boy, it's garlic, Parmesan, and buffalo, please. Don't give me the sweet. Don't give me the sweet, Brian. All right. Appreciate you. Sweet barbecue. It takes all types. You got to get a little spicy. By the way, I'm an older guy. A little spicy. Not quite what it used to be. Not quite. But you got to be tough around here. I'm tougher than a $2 steak. Little spicy wings. Not hot. Not crazy hot. Spicy. Little Asian zing. Little, buffalo. Garlic parmesan. That stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah. The jerk. The Caribbean jerk. The sauce. The sauce. So that's what I like. All right. Coming right back, high school sports. I want to go with a guy who hasn't been on, Trent Singer, Sioux Falls Live, up next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
You choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Ever dreamed of building something amazing? Builders First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs is your go-to building materials partner. Whether you're building new or giving new life to an old space, we provide step-by-step guidance from drafting and cabinetry design to lifelike visualization and top-quality materials. It's your vision, and we're here to make it real. Visit BLDR.com. Builders First Source, your Black Hills partner in building every step of the way.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Lively Tuesday. It was a jaded Tuesday. Everybody's sad about the Vikings. Stayed up late last night for the 18-inning marathon, and now we're doing fine, right? The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. Remember, you can listen to this program on demand, so if you miss us live every afternoon drive, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. It's there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Search The Nate Brown Show, and then you've got this show when you want it. Matthew Coller was on tonight, Vikings coverage. Clinton Yates live from the World Series from ESPN Los Angeles. Brian Noe is in talking ball from Fox Sports Radio Las Vegas. Now Trent Singer on tonight. He covers high school sports, Augie hockey. Good beat there. Sioux Falls Live. Sports writer Trent Singer on tonight. Trent, welcome in. How are you?
Doing great, man. I got the I got the smell of buffalo chicken behind me right now. My wife's cooking up a nice meal, and
wow.
I'm excited to. Playoffs are getting started here, man. I'm excited and ready to get going.
I like it. I'll take that. You got dinner. You got a radio hit.
That's right.
You got high school football Thursday. Playoffs cranking with every school.
World Series starting here in a few minutes. I mean, everything's going on.
So you're ready. I'm going to go high school football. I want to get your take. You've covered some of these teams. Do you think Brandon Valley is still the best team in AAA football?
It's hard to bet against the Lynx right now. I mean, you really, last weekend, closing out the season, they didn't have their starting quarterback, Briggs Knutson, in the game. And, Will Van Leeuwen's been kind of directing this offense the past couple of weeks. We still know what Brandon Valley is, right? Their identity's never been challenged. They're a team that wants to run the ball. They've got one of the best running backs in the state in Levi Vesterna. I mean, what a season he's had. I mean, over 1,200 yards rushing, 25 touchdowns on the season. And, that's what they want to do. Hudson Parliament, they've got one of the best offensive lineman prospects that the state's ever seen. And, they're not going to shy away from who they are. I think going into this playoffs, when you talk about the most well-rounded teams, I still think it's the Lynx. I think they've got maybe the best defense in the state, and their offense can hang with anybody. I like the way they can control the ball, their time of possession style of game. It's what they want to do, and they're pretty good at doing it. So I think going into this thing, it's still the Lynx that everybody's sort of chasing. I know that Lincoln is the team that's coming off the state championship in 11 AAA, but it's hard to bet against the Lynx. And I have my own issues right now with Lincoln, and we'll see kind of how they hold up in the playoffs. But with Brandon Valley, you got to think that they're kind of the team to beat right now.
Okay, I want to ask your read on 11 AA. It's a class I can't figure out. I think Yankton's number one, but I'm not sure. I could put Pierre there, actually. 11 AA seems wide open. Does anybody get your attention to make a run?
Well, 100% it would be Pierre. I think there's a team around this time of the year that you're always looking at in 11 AA. They've been a tough out every year, and they're playing really good football right now. I got to see them a couple of weeks ago against O'Gorman, and they took O'Gorman to its absolute limit. O'Gorman rallied in that one to win it, but Pierre's really rolling right now, and this is the time of year where they tend to do that. You'll see a few hiccups from this team from time to time throughout the season, but I really think it's them. I mean, Huron's been a great story. I'm really interested to see how they do. Hopefully we'll get to see that semifinal match with them against Pierre. But outside of them, obviously Yankton's the number one seed. It's another year where we could possibly see Yankton and Pierre in that final. What a rivalry that one's been over the years. But Pierre is kind of the team I'm looking at right now. I really like the tools that they have, both offensively and defensively. And Steve Steele's one of the best in the game, I think, in this state. And he'll have the guys ready when the playoffs roll around.
Yankton takes on Spearfish 1 versus 8. Pierre's the 3 seed taking on T. 11 AA seems pretty open. Huron in a rematch right away with Brookings, a game that was just played. Brookings getting the upset. Trent Singer's on tonight covering the high school football playoffs at SiouxFallsLive.com. Find him on X at Trent Singer. 11A has been controlled by Sioux Falls Christian. It seems like they finally have hit that spot where, I don't know, they seem unbeatable there in 11A. Can a Lennox or somebody surprise them?
Well, we saw that last year. I saw those two teams in the regular season. I thought Lennox gave them, some fits in that game. And they had some playmakers. There's no longer a Boston Catzer on that team, though. And I just don't know that Lennox quite can match up with Sioux Falls Christian. I mean, I expect to see those two teams in the state championship game. I'd be very surprised if Sioux Falls Christian isn't in that game when it's all said and done. But I'm kind of with you. It's Sioux Falls Christian's really run away with it this year, even more so than last year. I think there was a lot of hype around that team last year. I think they're better defensively. Offensively, they're figuring some stuff out. Kim Nelson's running that offense now as the offensive coordinator, and he's really kind of taken in a young Cooper Strandy who is taken on that role. He's only a sophomore, and he's really stepped in swimmingly. I was really impressed getting the chance to talk to Cooper for the first time a few weeks back. And Sioux Falls Christian is kind of that team right now, and it's theirs to lose. Jensen Pixler is a leader on that team, offensively and defensively. He runs the ball. He's an outstanding playmaker defensively as well. And I like Sioux Falls Christian a lot in 11A. I think they're a pretty safe bet to kind of take that one. We'll see though. I mean, Lennox is going to have their say. Del Rapids will be in that mix too. You've got some lurkers like West Central. They've given some fits to Lennox as well this season, and I thought they played Sioux Falls Christian pretty competitively in that first week. We'll see kind of where West Central looks as well. You got Madison in the 4 seed too, so West Central's going to have its hands full in that first game. But yeah, I'm with you. I do like Sioux Falls Christian quite a bit.
I want to take 11B. We're talking high school football playoffs. First round in 11B started last week. Now we're into the second round here. St. Thomas More out of Rapid City. They've made a run to the Dome. They haven't won the title. A lot of people think they could get there this year and maybe an 11B field that's not quite as good as in the past. You think STM can get to the Dome?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it has kind of been the Elk Point Jefferson St. Thomas More show all season, and it's been pretty, who's the best? And I don't know that we can quite tell yet. Winner's going to have its say. They got out of it, and they're still winner. There's still that program. Sioux Valley is going to get Elk Point Jefferson this week. We'll see how that one turns out. And then you've got some lurkers, and Clark Willow Lake and Dual and Wagner. It'll be interesting to see how 11B plays out. But I'm kind of in that same boat where I think it's going to be St. Thomas More and Elk Point Jefferson in the championship game. But we'll find out in a couple of weeks. These semifinal matchups in 11B are going to be really interesting here next week.
Trent Singer on tonight talking high school football. We'll do it again. He'll be on it this week, SiouxFallsLive.com. He's on X at Trent Singer. Trent, we'll do it again, man. I appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Nate.
Appreciate your time. Trent Singer on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Sports writer, covers the high school football beat. And Augie Hockey just getting cranked up as well. They've got a good program going at Augie. We know that. Find his work at Sioux Falls Live. Trent Singer on tonight. Who's hot and who's not? Coming right back with a Shohei Ohtani stat you may have missed. Hang on.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Fall is the best season, not just because football's back and my fantasy team's doing great, but it's getting cool enough for my favorite comfort food dinner, grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup. The soup can be homemade or from a can. I don't care, but a grilled cheese has got to be sharp cheddar on either Country Heart's English muffin toasting bread or Dakota-style 12-grain. Baked right here in the Midwest, there's just no better bread than Country Heart. Heck, you can even skip the soup. At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors. From everyday banking to home mortgages, insurance, and trust services, we're here for every step of your financial journey. We believe in doing what's right for you because we live here, work here, and care about our communities just like you do. Go with confidence, go with trust, go with Dakota Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and investment products are not FDIC insured, may lose value, and have no bank guarantee.
Since 1928, Connect Home Center has been proud to serve Rapid City and Spearfish with quality products and customer service that you can trust. In 2000, Connect joined the Meade Lumber family, and now they're taking the next step into their journey. Connect Home Center is becoming Meade Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name from design to finish. Meade Lumber is here for you, as they've always been. MeadeLumber.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows dip down to about 27 tonight under clear skies, northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. High of 55 tomorrow, mainly clear skies. Lows dip down to about 36 tomorrow night, clear skies. Sunshine expected Thursday with daytime highs approaching 56, 48 Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 42.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
The new Mr. Liquor 2 in Rapid City is the only place in western South Dakota where you can order an ice-cold brew in their adjoining campfire bar and enjoy it while you shop. This month's specials include all flavors of Jim Beam Bourbon, $18.99 for a $7.50. Save $3 off all flavors of Bailey's Irish Cream, now only $29.49. Or choose Stella Rosa wines, now just $10.99. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores, off Catron Boulevard next to Walmart, or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
All right, let's do this every night at this time. Who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet, East 10th Street, Sioux Falls location. Also in Brandon, 2 locations in Rapid City. Locally owned and operated, the Pizza Ranch, supporting your community and local sports, and the best buffet in town at the Pizza Ranch. In my Who's Hot category, a Shohei Ohtani stat from last night's marathon game. Shohei Ohtani went 4 for 4, 2 home runs, 2 doubles. Great game. Walked 5 times on top of that. 5 walks, 2 homers, 2 doubles. First player in MLB history with 4 or more hits and 5 or more walks in a game. 4 more hits, 5 or more walks in a game. History last night. That's what you get in an 18-inning hitter. Pizza Ranch Who's Not category. Shaquille O'Neal getting set to go watch an LSU college basketball game, and Range Rover made him a $180,000 custom vehicle. It was stolen. $180K Range Rover. People are looking for it right now in Georgia. Whoops. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. The podcast going up right now. Great show tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for more. See ya.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.